I've been spending a few days settling back into life in London, which has been looking like prioritizing moments of spaciousness to replenish my creativity, cultivating playfulness and sincerity in everything that I do, rekindling my sense of curiosity and wonder in the world, and most importantly, being gentle and compassionate with myself through it all. I hope that this video can bring you some warmth or some comfort, maybe some lightness or an offering of compassion. Sending my love, Cam. I'm back in London for a month now, and I've been thinking about setting intentions for this month and thinking about how I want to spend this month here, because I feel like when you go back to a place where you've spent time in the past, it can be quite easy to fall into doing the same things that you did when you were there last, and just easy to fall into the same patterns and habits. And not that there's anything wrong with those patterns and habits, but I just like change and I like things to be fresh and new. I feel like it just makes life more exciting. And that's also the thing that I love about being in a city. It's like you can just constantly recreate things and constantly find something new to do. I'm staying in a sublet at the moment, which has worked out so perfectly. I found the place on Instagram while I was in Morocco, and I moved in the day I got back, and the dates are just perfect for the time that I'm here. And I love when things just aren't difficult and when things just work out. But being in this sublet at the moment, it feels so nice being able to settle into a space and have all my things. I'm living with one other person at the moment, but they're moving out and then a new person's moving in, and there's just a transition period where there's nobody in the house. So I've got the place to myself for a few days, which I love. After I've been traveling for the past few weeks, I'm really looking forward to having a bit of a reset, starting running again, going to the gym, getting groceries, cooking food. I just feel like living life and having those kind of more mundane moments every day. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to working and just getting in a rhythm and a routine with things, but at the same time breaking away and trying new things. I just want to have a balance between the everyday mundane moments of life, and then also being oh, I could just go and do this today, or I could go and do this, I've started writing a little list in my journal, and I've started a Pinterest board as well, of course, but just of things there in London, summer, of things that I want to do this month, and very niche specific things, specific spots at the park that I want to visit and things that I want to do there. Cozy chill moments at home, tea, snacks, bake, candles, cookies, etc. Eat outside, more intentional moments of breakaway, positioning myself in the midst of possibility rather than predictability. Take breakfast to the park, barbecue in the park, go to the forest. Lots of outside moments, seeing as it is summer. Also having a morning routine again and just getting back into doing my morning stretches and meditating, going to the gym, going for walks, just being out and about and living my little life in the city, really. It's not a joke thing, what you say loud.
surprised you come there.
I'm so tired, guys. I feel like I could fall asleep now. Just like lying here and looking at the clouds outside my window. I need a nap, but it's like 6:30. I feel like 6:30 is not an appropriate time for a nap. Is it? No, it's definitely not. But I want to go down to the park and eat dinner outside. I'm absolutely starving. So I'm going to make myself food and go to the park and chill. Chill. I want to chill. There's such a fine line between like having your own space and having your own peace and then craving like connection and being around people. Sometimes I find it hard to find that balance of like not isolating myself but also giving myself time to like rest and recuperate and recharge. I really want to make an effort this month while I'm in London to make more connections with people and get out and about a bit more. And there was an event that I wanted to go to tonight which looked really good, and I feel like there'd be lots of like-minded people there, but I'm just so tired and I don't think I can make it. I definitely can't make it. So I'm just going to go to the park and be in my own little bubble instead. And I'll meet people, I'll make friends in the future, but right now I just want to relax. I want to show you this. I put this picture up on my wall. I got it printed when I left Byron, and it's just a photo I took when I went camping one time, and it's just the hills and the valleys of the Australian landscape. This is just like groundedness in a photo to me. That's why I got this printed out. And I was like, wherever I stay when I'm away, I'll put this on the wall and it will be like home. And so that's what this little picture is. Just thought I'd explain. I got takeaway last night. I got rice and peas and jerk chicken. And I have half of the serving left. If I can open this container. There we go. So yum. And so I think I'm going to warm this up somehow and take this to the park and make a little salad. And there's berries on tap in the park at the moment. It's berry season, there's so many blackberries, and so that will be dessert. I was thinking I might make a tart. I've been loving making a galette lately, just like making the pastry and then putting all the fruits in it, and it takes like 20 minutes in the oven. But I don't know if I have the energy for that. Oh yeah. You're like inside my mind right now. The Galette is gonna start soon. I've got the berries and I'm gonna pour some water in here to make a tea. And I'm talking to Romany. And she's in a flower pot. And you know, before I went to the park, I was lying on my bed and I was saying how I like when you have your own space or you live alone or you're staying alone, it's like a fine line between like, oh, I'm enjoying my peace, like I'm protecting my peace, and I want connection. Yes. I wasn't sure if I had finished cooking yet because the pastry wasn't like all the way golden, but it had been in for a while, so I think it's done. It's very crumbly. I'm having the most perfect morning. I woke up feeling kind of meh. I don't know, I've just been feeling a bit kind of like in a rat race in my own head and like in my own creativity. I think because my work at the moment is like a lot of it is creative things, like creating these videos, and then I'm also creating content for a brand for their TikTok account. And I just feel like when creativity gets capitalized, it's a bit of a slippery slope of like feeling like you always need to be producing and you're trying to like stick to schedules and create things by deadlines. And I don't know, I just don't think that that's the nature of creativity. I think like I just started reading this book, which I love when books just come into your life. Like I've seen this book everywhere. I feel like everyone's seen this book everywhere, but I just haven't bought it because it's really big and I didn't want to travel with it, and B, I feel like when I see things everywhere, sometimes it makes me want to get it less. It's just been on the bookshelf at my sublet, and I started reading it last night, and I love when you start reading a book and it's just like, oh my god, I needed to hear this now, you know? So he was talking about how everything is like innately creative in the world, in the universe. So he says, how does the cloud know when to rain? How does the tree know when spring begins? How does the bird know when it's time to build a new nest? The universe functions like a clock. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep, a time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. And he says, these rhythms are not set by us. We are all participating in a larger creative act. We are not conducting. We are being conducted. The artist is on a cosmic timetable, just like all of nature. And I think that when we try and capitalize our creativity and try and make it fit into schedules and deadlines, I feel like then we're trying to create the clock and the timetable of our ideas and of our creativity, which isn't actually something that we are in control of. It's like something that happens to us and through us. And I feel like I've just been in a cycle for the past month maybe of just like being more feeling like I'm trying to control my creativity rather than letting things move through me. And I feel like that's also a part of like being in a city as well, I find. And I've been making it my intention to find more moments of like spaciousness in my day and moments where I can I think return to like more of a state of just like openness and I don't know, like sinking into a moment. I feel like I've just been experiencing things kind of surface level and not letting experiences really like sink in because I've been in this cycle of like trying to control my creativity and trying to like capitalize on it. And so I'm just like, this morning I was like, let's just, not even this morning, but it's my intention for my whole time here in London. I'm like, let me just be. And it's this balance of like, yes, you need to make money, and when you're making money as a creative, you need to capitalize on your creativity to an extent, but then also making space for moments where you can just be and you can let things just move through you and not have to like have a firm grip on everything. And I'm really trying to be more intentional about creating more of those moments for myself. When I was journaling on that bench before, I wrote a page in my journal which I really love, which I want to share. It's my little page. But I said, Day 2 of creating more spaciousness and seeking out the magic. Being here in London has made me realise how moments of magic are so readily available to me at home in Byron. I walk out the door and oh, of course, there's beauty, there's life, there's magic. Here in the city, your immediate surroundings are so much more likely to be buses, trains, busy roads, and people moving between A and B. Of course, the magic is still here. I'm just finding that I need to be a lot more intentional with being in touch with it and allowing it to permeate into the deeper layers of my being. It's not just, oh look, wow, a pretty flower, a blue sky, a grassy field. It's a vast clearing full of reflections and reminders, a reflection of the beauty within you, of the patience within you, the spaciousness within you. And it's a reminder to let go of rigidity and seriousness and welcome ease and play. These are the moments I am consciously cultivating. To more moments of spaciousness and ease and play and joy and finding the balance between being a creative who's trying to make money from being a creative and being a creative because I am a creative and everyone's creative and the universe is creative, and letting the seasons happen to you and not feeling like there's something wrong with you or you need to fix things when you're in a moment of lowness, and not trying to force yourself to create from that space, because like creation involves cycles of birth and death, and like that's how it's like soil being fertilized and life coming again and then dying, and that's just like it's all happening within us. And I think that we often forget that because everything in the world, in society, is fast, more, no time for the death cycles. It's always just production, but we're not like that as people. Nature is not like that. So respect yourself, respect your seasons, respect your cycles. Mwah. Sorry to continue yapping, but I also feel like having those moments of spaciousness is like a practice. And even when I was just sitting on that bench before, like for the first 5 minutes of sitting there, I was kind of like, oh, okay, cool, let me go. And I just stayed sitting, drinking my coffee, and just observing. And then it's like slowly you sink into the moment, and slowly, literally I turned around and I was like, oh my God, there's an apple tree. And then like everything was magical. But at the start, I was just like, okay, I'm done. And I hear a lot of people say that they just get bored in nature. And I feel like that's that initial state before you sink into it. But I think it's a practice of getting to that place of actually sinking into the spaciousness of the universe. These moments, I'm like, this is life, right? And I feel like I've been trying to make time for more activities that bring me to that space of like sinking into the moment. I feel like things like reading sometimes, but sometimes when you're reading, you're like taking in too much. That's why I've been enjoying knitting, because you're very just doing something repetitive and your mind can just travel. And also sketching and painting I've been trying to make more time for, because when you sketch and paint, especially if you're like sketching something that you're looking at, you're like really paying attention to that thing, and you start to notice so much more than when you're just existing in day-to-day life. So I love just like sitting down and finding a flower. I really want to do more just like coming to the park, sitting down, finding a flower or a leaf or something, and just paying attention and drawing. I want to try and do it more often, because in those moments I always feel like, it's like going for a swim in the ocean. Like you never feel bad after a swim in the ocean. You never feel bad after a sketch or after going to the park. Like I always feel like lighter and clearer. It's beautiful. And this is what life is about. My cup is full, which means it's time to listen to music. Every day.
And the mystery of others. So my interest when I get into conversation with a poet is not to talk about poetry, but to delve into what this way with words and sound and silence teaches us about being fully human. This adventure we're all on that is by turns treacherous and heartbreaking and revelatory and wondrous. I've been reading Ada Limon.